Yes, we can break the cycle of birth and death. We can break the cycle of reincarnation. That's the good news. Actually, Gary Renard's books, he's written 3 books, and it actually answers... Yeah, it's great, very powerful. It helped me a lot. But it answers that as well. And the good news is that, yes, you can break the cycle of birth and death. It's not about you have to come back endlessly. How we do that actually is through... One way is through forgiveness. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only way you can stop it, because there are other valuable, teachings out there. But ultimately, it's basically as long as you can get to a place where you can just stop judging, overlook the things that disrupt your peace, and it's like actually what the Course says is that you can get this in an instant. It doesn't have to take forever. That you can wake up. And what are you really waking up to? You're waking up to remembering that you never left heaven, what they call heaven. You never left God. That what you've done is just drawn a veil across. And so actually what's very interesting, is in Gary's book, they address something about the Buddha. So there's 2 ascended masters that are talking to Gary Renard in his book. And what they said about the Buddha is that wasn't the Buddha's last lifetime. He did wake up, but he wasn't quite finished, and he came back for one final lifetime. And it was the same thing so the whole thing about Jesus and being an example to us of how to overcome the world. So his death, the whole thing about his death was that he didn't really die. In fact, that was the whole point of him coming back. He rose from the dead. He woke up. How? Because he realized, I'm not this body. I invented it. And if I can leave it, I can come back to it if I want. And he did. And he came back and he was like, hey, everybody, I'm not really dead. You can't die. That's the good news. And people were like, huh? Like, what? And so, but what are we seeing? More and more people are having near-death experiences. And one of my favorite authors, I love Anita Moorjani, who wrote Dying to Be Me. She died from cancer. But on her deathbed or whatever, she died and had an experience of realizing why she got cancer, why she was miserable, all the things that happened. She became aware of there was no time. Everything is happening now, eternally, now. And she made a choice. She actually remembers seeing people like her father and her best friend who had passed, and she kind of realized she had a choice where she could come back to this body and this life and live it fully as she really was, or she could not. Well, she came back, and eventually her story was so amazing that Wayne Dyer found out about it. And when he found out about it, he said, you've got to write this book. And he went to his publisher and he said, you've got to publish her book, which they did. Hay House published her book, and so the rest is kind of history. But what's really beautiful about her story is she talks about how we are eternal spirit. All there is love. These are the same things you're going to hear of people who've done some psychedelics. I took a psychedelic and I realized I'm not my body. All there is love. And then I came back. So that was a mistake that I made. I thought I had to die to know God. I thought, well, if I just die, if I just off myself, because I had bad depression, then I'll know God and I won't have to come back. Surely I wouldn't have to come back. I hope I don't have to come back. Anyway, I realized that's not the truth either. We don't have to die to know God. We can be here right now in this body, in this experience, and know heaven, and know God, and really have a beautiful, loving experience of what that's like. David Hofmeister is a Course in Miracles teacher that I think kind of comes pretty darn close, where he's had an awakening, he's read the Course, he's, and this is a guy who had been like studying at university for 10 years. Again, someone who came from the world of academia, kind of threw that all away and realized, hey, I'm the child of God, and I don't have to suffer anymore.